first episode begins with a limo being escorted by two black SUVs pulling up outside of a warehouse. The chauffeur immediately gets out from the driver's seat of the limo and goes outside to open the back door. Emerging from the limo was none other than the Maggia family's most feared members, Hammerhead, played by Thomas Ian Griffith. The warehouse door opens to reveal nothing but bloodshed, various body parts strewn across the interior, blood covering most of the walls and floor, along with a very small amount of dead bodies that were almost entirely intact, excluding the bite marks on their necks.
This is the 5th time this week. Does somebody want to tell me why this shit keeps happening?
Mr. Hammerhead, sir?
What?
There's a few cameras around here. Maybe they could have something on them?
Good boy. Make yourselves useful and call in a cleanup crew, damn it.
The next scene begins inside of a security room. The guard's body sitting in a chair with his face caved in, with Hammerhead wiping blood off of his face as his students begin looking through the CCTV footage.
Tell me you found something.
Yeah, but you're not gonna believe it. The footage shows a shadowy figure moving throughout the area at an intense speed before arriving outside the warehouse and climbing in through a window. Didn't think the webhead had it in him.
That ain't the webhead.
Sir, with all due respect, how can you be so sure?
Spidey doesn't leave holes in our guys' necks, nor does he tear them to pieces. Whoever or whatever is doing this is something much more problematic. I want this footage wiped clean. If the other Dons found out about this, they'd challenge us for our turf. In the meantime, I want someone to kill that creep. Have someone find me a bounty hunter.
The next scene starts off in Hammerhead's office. The mobster is sitting at his desk, drinking whiskey and smoking a cigar whilst looking out his window. Suddenly the phone on his desk begins to ring, only having to ring for a few seconds before being answered.
Are they here? Good. Send them up.
Hammerhead slammed the phone down and stared intently at the doors to his office before they opened and two people walked in. A pale-skinned, white-haired man and a blonde woman.
So, who exactly do I have the pleasure of meeting?
You can call me Blackout. This is Blackout, played by David Anders. Elizabeth Nikos. This is Elizabeth Nikos, played by Lauren Cohen. Hammerhead would respond by throwing a few photos onto his desk.
What exactly can you make of these?
The photos are revealed to be photos of the wounds and bite marks on his deceased men's bodies. Blackout began to examine the photos and began to chuckle to himself. I recognize these. Homo Nocturne. Living Dead. Children of the Night. It appears you have a vampire problem, Mr. Hammerhead.
Cut the bullcrap! You expect me to believe vampires are real?
Oh, please. In a world where gods roam the earth, aliens invade our planet, and a percentage of the population has powers, is that so hard to believe that the supernatural exists? I mean, if you don't believe me, ask our friend here. He's telling the truth. You see? I should know. After all, you could say my skill itself is supernatural.
Enough! Here's the deal. The first person to bring me that thing's head gets $1 million in cash.
Oh, forgive me for being difficult, but you could pay me more than that. I'm pretty sure the Maggia would love to hear about your little problem.
Why, you little...
Ignore him. I'll do it. All I need is for you to fund the operation. You've seen my work. You know I get results. Please, a normal human taking on a vampire is absurd. Blackout feels a heavy and cold object pressed against his skull. It was Elizabeth holding a pistol. I've killed more than my fair share of freaks. Never mind. Tell you what, fund the operation, pay us $1 million each, and we'll work together. That sounds fair, doesn't it, Elizabeth? I work alone.
I don't care how you do it. Just bring me that freak's head. You got 1 week.
The elevator ride down was almost completely silent until Black decided to make conversation. Interesting secret. You're a human bears against a vampire. Just don't get in my way. If you do, I'll kill you. Suddenly, the entire elevator went pitch black, dark enough to hide everything. Not even Blackout could be seen. Oh, you naive thing. I'd like to see you try. Blackout wrapped his hand around Elizabeth's neck, the armed woman not even flinching. Oh, I think we're going to have fun working together. Don't you think? The darkness disappears and Blackout is nowhere to be seen. Elizabeth is left alone in the open elevator as she pulls a bloodstained photo from her pocket. I'll make you pay, you piece of shit. Hours passed. The sun was beginning to set, and in an alleyway outside of a nightclub stood a thug smoking a cigarette. From the corner of his eye, he spotted what appeared to be a homeless man staring at him. Take a picture, it'll last longer. The figure didn't move an inch. You got a staring problem, tough guy? Once again, the figure remained still. Hey! I'm talking to you! The criminal marches towards the cloaked figure in an attempt to scare him off, only to be caught off guard when a pair of glowing red eyes appear from beneath the hood. What the... But before he could finish his sentence, the criminal felt a sharp pain in his neck before feeling like his life was being drained out of him. Looking to his side, he saw the hooded individual from before biting down on his neck from behind. He was going to attempt to reach for his gun, but was in for a surprise when a pair of chalk-white clawed hands wrapped around his head before twisting it in one swift movement, breaking the criminal's neck. His body collapsed to the floor, the blood from his attacker's mouth dripping onto his corpse. The cloaked figure then opened the back door to the club, being greeted by a group of mobsters sitting at a poker table. Who the hell are... Before the criminal could finish his question, the figure appeared in front of him in the blink of an eye, before swiping at his throat, cutting it, and ending his life before attacking the others. In less than 2 minutes, almost the entirety of the room was covered in blood in various body parts. The poker table flipped onto its side with poker chips soaked in pools of blood. Only 2 people remained, the attacker and one of the criminals who had sat at the table, lying in a pool of his colleague's blood with his legs cut deeply. Looking up, he saw the hooded man approach him before pressing his foot against his victim's wounds. Ah! A whispering voice emerged from underneath the hood.
Where's your boss? Tell me, and I will spare your life.
He's upstairs, on the dance floor.
Shame. I was hoping not to be seen. Know this. If I find you again, working for these people, or anyone like them for that matter, I will show you no mercy. Now get out of my sight.
The injured felon ran outside as fast as he could as the figure made his way to the door that led to the dance floor of the nightclub. Pushing past the crowds, the hooded man made his way to one of the many booths that were in the club. Inside one of these booths sat one of Hammerhead's lieutenants, drinking champagne and flirting with 2 women whilst 2 bodyguards stood guard. That's far enough, buddy.
I want to talk to your boss.
Okay, who the hell let this hobo in here? The hell do we pay you guys for?
You use this club as a front to launder money. You take advantage of immigrants and runaways and get them to do your dirty work. All whilst you and your boss sell guns and drugs to poor neighborhoods and children.
Beat it, ladies. Look, I don't know who you are or what you're expecting to happen, but I'm going to give you until a count of 3 to get out of my club. 1, 2...
I'm not leaving until I get what I came for.
3. Lucas, Vinny, Take this fool out back and show him what happens when you try to start a fight with a Magia. Alright, buddy. Time to go. The bodyguard attempted to grab the man's shoulder but was intercepted when his hand was grabbed when he was thrown across the room hard enough for his hand to be ripped off in the process. Once the bodyguard's body made contact with the wall, the patrons of the club began to panic and flee from the club. All that remained was the Magia's goons. Each and every one of them pulled out their weapons. The cannibalistic stranger slashed at the last bodyguard's throat before he leaped towards the nearest group of henchmen, absolutely showing no mercy as he cut them all down and drained their blood from their bodies. We then get an entire montage of more henchmen storming the club and being killed until all that was left on the dance floor were dead bodies littered across the area and the stranger standing victorious.
Now then.
Whoa! Easy. I'll give you anything you want. Money? Drugs? Women? You name it.
The lieutenant was then lifted up by his shirt collar as a pair of red eyes stared into his soul.
You're going to tell me who your boss is and where I can find him.
If I tell you, he'll kill me.
And if you don't, I'll kill you.
Multiple gunshots could be heard. Looking down, the figure saw 4 bullet wounds bleeding from his stomach. Drop him. Turning around, the figure saw none other than Elizabeth Nikos holding a shotgun. Hey, Liz. The stranger removed his hood to reveal a black-haired man with glowing red eyes, an upturned nose, chalk-white skin, and fangs. This is Michael Morbius, played by Riz Ahmed. It's been a while. It sure has, Michael. So, you're working for the mob now? Don't get all high and mighty with me. I took this gig because I knew you were involved. Then all I needed was bait. This bozo did his job perfectly. Wait, what? Quiet! Get out of here, now! Liz, No, you don't get to call me that after what you did. I didn't mean to kill Emil. He was my best friend. And he was my brother. After everything he did for you, you just repaid him by sinking your teeth into his throat. I'm doing everything I can to make amends. Suddenly, Morbius' hearing warned him of an incoming threat. 7 car engines, 35 heartbeats, and the sound of a heavier weapon being loaded. On a nearby rooftop stood one of Hammerhead's henchmen holding an RPG that he had squeezed the trigger for. Get down! Morbius grabbed Elizabeth and shielded her with his body after the bright light hindered her vision and the explosion that damaged her hearing dissipated. She saw Morbius standing over her with a good portion of his clothes and body on fire, only for it to begin to heal almost instantaneously. Once it was clear Elizabeth was safe, Michael leapt into the air and began to fly away from the scene. Last scene of the episode takes place inside of an old, rundown church. Morbius walks inside and falls to his knees before punching the ground repeatedly and letting out a cry of agony. The living vampire lays on the wooden floor, tears streaming from his face as he struggles to get back onto his feet. Once upright, he made his way back to the church and into a basement that contained a large amount of lab equipment. Next to the equipment sat a camera on a tripod. Morbius sits down in front of it and turns it on.
This is Dr. Michael Morbius. This is day 394. Every day that my hunger gets worse and worse. The first time I lost control, I killed someone I cared deeply about. I cannot risk that happening again. My plan to only feed on the criminals of the city has put a target on my back. Even someone who was a loving shadow to me wants me dead. Although I can't blame her. My abilities have continued to grow. I fear it will come to the point where I will no longer be able to transform back into my old self. But I cannot give up now. In the last few months, I have discovered certain weaknesses in relation to my condition. My son and eyes have gained some kind of sensitivity to sunlight. Thankfully, it is only something that causes discomfort. My hunger, on the other hand, that's another story. I could once go weeks, even a few months without feeding, but now I have to feed on approximately 15 to 20 people in the span of a week to satisfy my needs. Today, I overfed. Whether or not this will slow down my hunger is unknown, but I will record another message if need be. In the meantime,
Michael pulls out a small metal box containing a syringe containing a blue liquid before getting ready to inject it into his arm.
this is test number 287. As much as I'm grateful for my disease to be cured, I know I simply traded it in for another. If curing my condition brings back the blood disease that was killing me, then so be it.
Morbius stuck the needle into his skin, injecting the serum into his veins and waiting for it to take effect. The camera footage fast forwards to reveal 5 minutes had passed.
Once again, my condition has been shown as incurable. I never wanted any of this. I just wanted to live normally, like everyone else. But alas, I'm another step further from achieving such a thing. As for now, I have no other choice but to try and survive. Those who I've hunted plan on hunting me in return. Every second I'm out on the street will increase my chances of being discovered and killed. I will attempt to only hunt during the quiet hours of the night if my body can endure the hunger. This is Michael Morbius, signing off.
Hey everybody, it's Adrian Manray, and thank you so much for watching Morbius Episode 1. Now, I'm going to clarify some things. I may have recorded and edited for this episode, but I did not write this episode. The episode written, and the writer who did this entire series, is ArtDroid29. He's a cool guy. Make sure to like and subscribe. He did an excellent job at this. I'm impressed, dude. Stay tuned for more side projects. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to next to the stories. Also, comment. That helps with the algorithm. But anyways, this is Adrian Manray, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.